Hello YouTube. Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan. The time is approximately, let's say, 6:37 p.m. and the date is Sunday, July 14th, 2019. It is the night before the full moon and lunar eclipse in Capricorn, but right now the sun is transiting in Cancer, and the moon is void of course. But according to my trusty copy of Llewellyn's 2019 Daily Planetary Guide, the moon will officially go from being void of course to being in Capricorn, or rather transiting in Capricorn, as of 7 p.m. and 5 minutes Eastern Time. I would like to acknowledge my newest YouTube channel subscribers. They are Neymar11, Years of Silence, cool, Kyle Mitchell, and Doctora Samantha Espinosa Garcia. Latina! Very happy. I also want to mention that, especially for those of you that are new to my YouTube channel, I usually acknowledge the YouTube channel subscribers who are publicly listed as YouTube channel subscribers to my YouTube channel. So if I haven't acknowledged you, now you know why. And I have no problem, not acknowledging you. You just need to let me know you don't want to be acknowledged, especially if you come up as publicly there. Okay, so what I want to do, so in a previous video I talked about how I season tarot decks and oracle card decks, but I wanted to do a video where I gave an actual demonstration of how I do that. So I'm going to begin with an oracle card deck, specifically my personal favorite, well, one of my personal favorite goddess-themed oracle card decks, which is Goddess Guidance Oracle Cards by Doreen Virtue. Now, I'm not going to talk about Doreen Virtue and how, off the deep end she went. But I still love this oracle card deck. And one of my favorite people on the planet, Swan of Dreamers, loves and adores her Angel Answers oracle cards. Which I must admit, part of me wants to use it, part of me doesn't. I feel most drawn to using this oracle card deck of hers, the Ascended Masters oracle cards, and the fairy-themed oracle card decks. So what I'm going to do is have my awesome audio-visual person pan the camera down, and I'm going to show you how I season this deck. Now, I'm going to tell you that I was taught this by a dear friend of mine named Gary. Gary founded, well, first of all, Gary is the founder of the House of Pseudo, which changes your life one dress at a time. And he also founded the NYC Open Gay Men's Pagan Magic Circle. So what he taught me is that I'm going to do 5 cards, and then 7, and then 9. So I'm demonstrating this. This is a bit tedious, but you'll get the idea visually. So this is a 44 card oracle card deck, as most of Doreen Virtue's oracle card decks are. So what I'm going to do is take all the cards and lay them out into 5 piles. And then I'm going to go through the deck. And once I get to the 44th card, I'm going to scoop them back up and then go to 7. And then 9. So here we go. And this time I'm going to lay the cards face down. That way we can be surprised. So now we're going to do 7 piles. Granted, this is a bit tedious, but at least you'll get a physical idea or a physical awareness of how I season the decks. Now, for the record, I never asked my friend Gary why he does it this way. All I know is that this is how he was taught, and he was kind enough to pass along this wisdom and knowledge to me. And I am most thankful for that. I've learned a great deal from Gary over the years. Ritual work, spellcraft, tarot insights, etc. He lives in Tennessee now. He used to live in Brooklyn. I think about him often. And now we're going to do 9 piles. This is great for, pardon me, time for a beverage. In case you're wondering, I'm drinking a combination of Canada Dry Ginger Ale and Canada Dry Lemon Lime Flavored Seltzer. I think I went back to the beginning, but you get the gist of it. Okay, so then what I do, now as I was saying, this is great for when you're using a tarot deck or an oracle card deck that's brand spanking new, like right out of the package, or if it's one that you haven't used in a long time. So now what I do, when I finish doing the 9 piles, is I shuffle 13 times. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 6, 2, 3, 7, 2, 3, 8, 2, 3, 9, 2, 3, 10, 2, 3, and this is the card that clearly wants to make its presence known. 11, 2, 3, 12, 2, 3, 13, 2, 3. I'm going to do a basic 3 cards. So I'm going to cut the remaining cards into 3 piles. I'm drawn to the middle, which I'm going to put on top of the 3rd pile and the 2nd pile. The 1st pile. I'm being divinely guided to lay out the top card, which is the 2nd card, and the bottom card, which is the 3rd card. And then the final message card will be the bottommost card there. So let's see what the goddesses have in store for us, or want us to know right now. Now, it would be very easy for me to say that this is past, present, future, or maiden, mother, crone, but I'm not going to go down those particular paths. Kali, endings and beginnings. Now, I want to tell you something. I have never been afraid of Kali, also known as Kali Ma. Then again, I've never been afraid of the destructrix goddesses. Kali Ma, Oya. They never scared me. So, again, now more than ever, it's time to allow those doors that you want to have opened, remain open for you, open up for you. White Tarot. So, tonight is the night before a full moon and a lunar eclipse. So be aware of any sensitivity, hypersensitivity. For those of us that are witches, especially those of us that work with the energies of the moon, this is a very emotionally, energetically, magically, hypersensitive, hyper-aware time of the lunar month. And it's funny because I remember Dorothy Morrison in her book Everyday Moon Magic, she wrote that if you're feeling especially emotionally volatile during a full moon transit, don't wear any silver jewelry. Which is so ironic for me considering that I practically live in sterling silver. Not today, obviously, but I digress. Artemis. Really interesting because recently, and it's so funny because when I saw the white tarot card, when I saw the white tarot card, I thought of the Mother House of the Goddess free guided meditation with the tarots, and their most recent one, or relatively recent one, was with Artemis. And I really had never really worked with a lot of the tarots, or any of the tarots, or Artemis. So it was really interesting to like have these experiences with these particular goddesses. So I'm thinking about Artemis, and I'm thinking about when the sun entered Aries, because she is a warrioress goddess. Yes, of course. Ritual work and spellcraft for healing and protection. And the final message card is Bast, which is so appropriate since my newest feline goddess is Bast the kitten, as those of you who follow me on Instagram know. And I posted a great photograph of her yesterday for Catterday. But yeah, I really feel like Bast is also reminding us to engage in these creature comforts and physical pleasures. You know, books, foods, beverages, music, lounging in bed, etc. And of course, if any of this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Now I'm going to do the same with a tarot deck. And I'm going to use, actually I'm going to use a different tarot deck. Because as much as I love the Robin Wood Tarot, I'm going to stick to the theme of goddess energy. And here is the Mythical Goddess Tarot, created by the late and great Sage Holloway, and illustrated by the current and great Katherine Skaggs. So again, we're going to do 5 piles. Now, for the record, in the back of my mind, part of me is like, well, maybe I could do a fast forward thing. But you know what? It's okay. I really feel like physically demonstrating this is a good thing. Plus, this is also an active meditation. You know, if you choose to do this, you cannot help but focus on the cards. You cannot help but focus your energies on tuning into the cards' energies. And even now, as I sit here with my feet touching the floor, connecting me to Mother Earth energy, to Gaia energy, it's like I cannot help but focus on these cards. And I love this tarot deck, I really do. I was initially disappointed when I saw that there were no goddesses on the minor arcana, but it gave me an opportunity to connect with different goddesses elementally as a result. So for example, I'll look at a fire card, or a card in the suit of fire, which is more commonly known as wands. And I'll think of a fire goddess. And it could be Pele, it could be Vesta, it could be another fire goddess. And of course, for some people, the suit of wands corresponds to the element of air. So I could easily think of a goddess of creativity, of mental focus, of writing, of literature. I feel so calm right now. I feel so at peace. It's so funny because I just thought about how I've wanted to find a really special tarot pouch for this deck, and I have yet to find it. Or rather, it has yet to find me. And most of you know that I love the tarot bags that Peggy, who is the wife of Lisa of Supportive Tarot, creates on her Etsy shop, Sparks Creations. And I love and adore the tarot bags on Wild Child Creations, which went from an Etsy shop to their own website. But there is a very special tarot pouch for this tarot deck that I have yet to find, or again, that has yet to find me. But when I find it, or when it finds me, I will be especially happy. And you can certainly do this with tarot decks that have already been seasoned. Or as I say, seasoned. Like this tarot deck has been seasoned on at least 2 separate occasions prior to today. So technically I'm re-seasoning it now. And re-seasoning a tarot deck or an oracle card deck this way also shakes up the energy. It's like, you know, shake it up, shake it up. Oh, and needless to say, if you miss a pile, it is not at all a big deal. And it's just like, whatever. Now, there was a time when I would never dare say that, but, you know, I've gotten over a lot of things these last few months. Some things. Other things, it's like, I'm still the same Robert. Isn't that right, my awesome audiovisual person? He's nodding his head yes. You know why? Because he's learned this, and he's been reminded of this. So again, re-seasoned 5 piles, 7 piles, then 9, and I'm going to shuffle 13 times. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 6, 2, 3, 7, 2, 3, 8, 2, 3, 9, 2, 3, 10, 2, 3, 11, 2, 3, 12, 2, 3, 13, 2, 3. Oh my! Well, that takes care of that. So, 1, 2, 3. And then the bottommost card will be the final message card. Okay, so that, and that. Let's see what the goddesses also want us to know. You know, I've come to appreciate her. Her name is Uzume. Now, Japan's most beloved goddess is Amaterasu, also known as Amaterasu Okimaki. No, Okimai. I forgot the... Oh, this is going to bother the hell out of me. Hold on. Amaterasu doesn't list her other name. Amaterasu, and I forgot the other part. I'll put it in the description box. But essentially, so Amaterasu is the Japanese goddess of the sun, specifically the rising sun. Now, like a lot of goddesses connected to the sun, not especially Sekhmet, there was a time when she got disgusted with humanity. She's like, you know, fuck yous all. I'm done with you. Whatever. So Amaterasu was like, you know what? I'm going to go into this cave and everybody can fend for themselves. I don't care anymore. So, of course, Amaterasu being the sun, she's the essence of life. So she goes into this cave and there's no sunlight. There's darkness. It's funny how you go through different pantheons and there's a flood story and there's a sunlight going out story and there's another story about, you know, how winter came and things died. It's like we have more in common than we have our differences. So what happened was, of course, Amaterasu goes into the cave. She's the living sun. There's no sunlight. So what Uzume decides to do is make everybody laugh. Make all the other goddesses and gods of the Japanese pantheon laugh. And she does it a la Balbo, the Greek goddess who showed off her wise crack. So what does Uzume do? She did what Balbo did. She lifted up her skirts and showed off her wise crack. Ha! You know where I'm going with this, right? Right. So here is Uzume, and she's like making everybody laugh, and she's dancing and laughing, and of course, Amaterasu's like, what's going on out there? So she takes a peek, and she peeks enough so that her light begins to shine forth. And Uzume is not just a fool, she's a wise fool. So she brought a mirror. So this little sliver of sunlight becomes magnified. And of course, here is Amaterasu's solar radiance bringing life back into the world. And again, Uzume proving that she's not just a pretty face, or that she has other skills besides lifting up her skirts and showing off her wise crack. What she does is she places a big-ass boulder in front of the opening of the cave, meaning Amaterasu cannot go back into that cave. And so she doesn't. So this is about remembering to laugh, remembering to have fun, remembering that as serious as life can be, sometimes it's about forgetting that life is there and just like, okay, what's going to make me happy? You know, one of my mantras since the beginning of the year, especially to those people who've availed themselves of my psychic services, is, what do you want to attract and how do you want to feel? So if I were to be asked those questions right now, what do I want to attract? I want to attract peace, healing, and financial prosperity. And how do I want to feel? Whole, healed, financially free, worry-free, stressless, stress-free. And I got to tell you, those two questions make a huge difference for me. And I feel divinely guided to add a third one. So, if I manifest what I want to attract, and if I feel the way I want to feel, what am I going to do? I'm going to bask. I love the word bask. Talk about fire! Pele! In this tarot deck, Trump 16 is renamed Purifier. And interestingly enough, in magical traditions, the element of fire is the element of purification. So light a candle. Purify. You know, I love that tonight is the night before a full moon. So burn something. If there's something that's bothering you, grab your trusty cauldron and write it down and burn it up. Burn, burn, burn. Sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes you need to put something in the cauldron and let it burn. It's so funny this card comes out. Four of Earth, more commonly known as the Four of Pentacles. And the card is renamed Boundaries. And it's so funny because lately, various people, in particular Teresa Reed, who is known as the Tarot Lady online, and is the co-author with Shaheen Miro of Tarot for Troubled Times, has talked about boundaries. And this is definitely a reminder to make sure that your boundaries are in place. You know, I recently needed to remove my mother from my life. And I think I talked about this in a previous video, so I'm not going to talk about this more. But sometimes somebody else's toxicity might be getting in the way of you being happy and successful. And if that person, whoever that person is in your life, if they're preventing you, even ever so slightly, from you physically manifesting a goal, a desire, or a need, you might have no other choice but to remove them from your life. Now, there's a part of me that loves my mother. There's a part of me that knows beyond the shadow of any and all doubt that my mother did the best that she could with the knowledge and wisdom she had, and with the resources she had, financial and otherwise. But I definitely don't need somebody acting like my mother. I don't need somebody acting like my anything. I need somebody who's going to be that. I need somebody who's going to be my mother, not act like my mother. I need somebody who's going to be my friend, not act like my friend. And I was reluctant to do this because I had enjoyed being in communication with her. I really had. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, no. And believe me, I have no regrets about this, because I had forgotten something very important. What do my clients deserve? Do my clients deserve somebody who's going to allow other people's toxicity to get in the way of being of service? No, they don't. And the final message card is 8 of Wind, which is subtitled Confusion. Now keep in mind, Mercury is retrograding. So astrologically, this is the time when confusion runs rampant. But again, I love Mercury retrograde transits. That may sound crazy to a lot of you, but I do. I love them because it gives me the opportunity to engage in activities that begin with the letters RE. Reevaluate, re-examine, read, reread, rest, relax, renew, review. So during this Mercury retrograde transit, make re-words your mantras. Make engaging in activities that begin with the letters RE your daily mantras. So did you rest today? Did you review something today? Did you read something today? Did you reread something today? Did you renew something today? It doesn't even have to be a formal subscription. It could be you renewing a promise to yourself. But whatever it is, this is the time to make it happen. And again, if this resonated with you, please make sure that you tell me so in the comments. And now I'm going to take a sip of my beverage, and I'm going to ask my awesome audiovisual person to pan the camera back to yours truly. Oh, this is so good. You know, I'm not a diabetic, but I've learned different ways of reducing sugar content. So I basically took like this much of seltzer and this much of like the ginger ale. And I love Canada Dry ginger ale because it's super sweet. And I do remain a gran dulcero. So YouTube, as always, thank you so much for honoring who I am and what I do. I wish all of you many blessings. And in the comments, tell me how you season or energetically attune to a deck. One of the things that I love about YouTube's tarot and mystical community is that we share so much with each other that helps us grow and helps us develop greater skill in the crafts that we practice. Be it tarot craft, witchcraft, herb craft, knit craft, crochet craft, you know, all those crafty things. Anyway, I wish all of you a beautiful day, a glorious, healing full moon transit, and a wonderful week. And good night.